Well, hello out there. This is Father Time. We're so glad to be back. We're a few days away from Super Bowl 55, man, and in the first time in the history of the Super Bowl era, a team that is playing is going to actually play on their home field.
Mhm.
And what makes this
So,
historic is
so
not just the fact that
Sam, it's not about the game. It's about us men being ready and for the game, right?
okay. So what does that mean?
Yeah, what
So
does
I
that
mean,
mean, Greg?
my biggest concern is Super Bowl Sunday is the largest. It's the one day out of the year that there's the most family violence that takes place. So it's
Okay.
not
All
about the
right.
game, but it's about what takes place in that household when people are getting ready for the game, watching the game, or after the game.
So what I hear you saying, Greg,
I
is
didn't know.
is
I didn't know that because I mean I've had. Let me say, well, I'm 57. I probably remember maybe
Don't say it because
somewhere.
I'm gonna have to fire you then. I mean, if you're
Yeah,
trying to tell me I didn't know
I don't think I don't think one violent thing has ever happened at my 50 Super Bowl parties that I've thrown in the past. So I don't understand where that's at. Well, anyway, well if it is, but let's just say, but so what side do we want to tackle here, Greg? Are we going to
so
tackle
I
the
think I
good
think
side
what
of
I
it, or are
can
we going to
do
tackle the
I,
bad
I
side
think
of it?
I think what I can do is because I see where it's going, I think I can kind of serve as the mediator between two. We have Sam, which represents the funness and the tradition of Super
Okay,
Bowl
well,
Sunday.
actually, go ahead and cut right now the recording because this is all we're going too many different directions.
No,
So
stick
which
with.
side are we going to go? Which side? Are we
That's
going
what
to
I'm.
talk about the
Okay,
fun
so
part of it, or are we going to
that's
talk
what
about
I'm
all the
saying.
violence that happens on the day?
So that's where I'm going, Sam. What I'm saying is that you're representing the funness, the side, the part of it. That's the football Sunday. Greg's representing the other side of it, which I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, can be the dark side, which is the rise in domestic violence. So I think if we just talk about with you first about the funness of the of Super Bowl, and then after that we could end. Then we'll give Greg his opportunity to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about how maybe to prevent any of those incidents during Super Bowl. But let's start with you, Sam. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm going for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
Why?
Because I think it's a historic event that I think just needs to be capped off by the home team winning. I mean, it's never happened
So
before.
that sounds to me like an answer from the heart. Give me some X's and O's.
Well, he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Again, that's from the heart.
No, that's from the heart. It's just statistics.
Well, I mean,
He's
come
been to
on,
10 Super Bowls.
but you can't say that Patrick
He's been to
Mahomes.
14 divisional
Okay, let
titles.
me put it this way: if you started a team today with Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, who would you take?
Tom Brady.
I would take Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, well, he
That's
still needs to he still needs to go to 8 more to get
no,
to
but
that.
see, that's my point. I said today. You're going. That's why I'm saying, give me something that's X's and O's. Why are the Buccaneers going to beat the Chiefs?
defense,
in Reggie?
offense, just experience of the
Well,
quarterback.
they played this year. Kansas City went into Tampa where they're playing the Super Bowl on Sunday and killed them. Will
Mhm.
they repeat that again? I don't think so because Tampa is not the same team it was when they played them 7, 8 weeks ago. Um,
They're in a
Brady,
zone.
That so
Brady's phenomenal. At 43 years old, his accuracy. Matter of fact, he has like the most touchdown throws, the most yards since the second half of the season, going into the playoffs, coming into the Super Bowl.
So he's
He's got
hot.
all he's got all the weapons around him. I mean, he's got guys from left to right. He's got a great line. They got a great defense. But then again, I mean, you look at the other side, KC. Oh my gosh, they're probably the fastest team in the history of NFL football. With the speedsters they have, I mean, they got a guy who can sling the ball sideways, over, backwards, no look. I mean, it's going to be an insane game. I mean, it's going to be a defensive game where it's low scoring, or it's just going to be a gunslinging game of just 55-51 type of a game. So I think it's going to be exciting. Uh, really, in my heart, I really don't like either team. 'Cause I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'd rather see the Cowboys in there. And obviously, they haven't been there since 1995. Hopefully, they'll get there before I die. So I can celebrate again, truly. But
Yeah.
so I'm just looking for Brady just to cap it off, man.
Cap it off.
you
Okay,
know,
hey,
Well,
Greg.
they're better than the Detroit Lions, right?
Well, Greg, I know
The
you're not.
Cowboys are
I wouldn't
better
mind,
than
I wouldn't mind seeing the
Lions.
Detroit Lions in there. I wouldn't mind to see the Detroit Lions. In there.
So, Greg, my understanding
Yeah.
is you're not that big into football.
No.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna skip to my answer, and I agree with Sam. I think the Bucks are gonna win because that matchup that they had earlier in the year, the Buccaneers were able to see what the Chiefs were doing. And I think the key for the Chiefs was, as Sam said, was their speed. You have Tyreek Hill, who's probably the fastest person on the field. But now that they've been able to see that, I think they're going to figure out a way to contain Tyreek Hill. When you look at the Buccaneers and you have Tom Brady, he has weapons. He has Brait. Is Gronk is still available? Gronk is there, so he's reliable. I think he's got Michael Thomas. Is it Michael? No, Michael Evans. Michael Evans. He's got Michael Evans, right? And so he's got
an A&M grad from Texas A&M.
Yeah, and so I think with that, and then the backfield, the Ronald Jones, which is a slasher, and then Fournette, who can pound it in.
Slasher.
I think their offense will kind of match up. So I think it's really going to come down to the defense. And I think because the Buccaneers had that game before, they're going to contain Tyreek Hill at least better than what they did last time. And I agree. I think that's why the Buccaneers are going to win. So Sam, what are you going to do for Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, the kids already went shopping at H-E-B for all the food. So we're going to have fajitas. We're going to have.
So you're going to be at your house?
Yeah, I'll be at my house. And it'll just be the five of us, just the five people that live here. And I'll start off with a Super Bowl breakfast, and I'll probably make some, either blueberry waffles to start the day, or omelets, and then probably won't eat lunch because I want to try to have the barbecue done by 3, so we can have a kind of a late lunch, and then the game won't be over till like 10, so we can have like a late dinner, with leftovers and stuff. But I'll brew it up like I usually do, and probably won't be that much drinking since I kind of stopped drinking and stuff. So, but I just want to enjoy the game, and I want to.
So I want to take that comment right there. Like, hey, I probably won't be that much drinking. I don't drink as much, which then is a great segue to Greg, which is how can you tell the dads out there to minimize any incidents that might lead to domestic violence or something?
So I think it's really important that we control our feelings, right? And we don't get to this position where our feelings control us, right? So I think having a plan, right? That, if we get excited, right? And I have 2 boys and a girl and they're teenagers and they can get excited, right? But then I'm like, hey, it's great to have a wild time and a good time, but we can't burn down the house, right? So there has to be some constraints. There has to be some limit. And I'll tell myself, okay, we got to breathe. We got to work through this. And just, it's great to be having a great time, right? Because that helps us for the bad times. When we get upset, we didn't get that touchdown, the play, the pull back the touchdown, all those things that, men get really upset. And what do? They break the TV or they throw things in the room or somebody gets hurt, right?
Yeah.
So I remember years ago reading it somewhere that there's more 911 calls in regards to domestic violence on Super Bowl Sunday than any other day of the year.
Yeah.
Since then, you have to realize there's a lot of powers involved in this. And this the NFL is a big machine and powerful machine. So, there's a lot of controversy. Is domestic violence, does it take place more on that day versus other days? Mm-hmm. And to be safe, I would say this, right? To be fair, I'd say this. Domestic violence takes place every day. Do we see an increase in domestic violence on this day? For those wounded families, I can see it, right? Because if we don't know how to control our feelings, if we don't have any emotional intelligence, then I'm going to get upset.
So how can the fathers out there control their?
So if you have a history of domestic violence, that's the first thing I would do. Minimize your consumption of alcohol and drugs. Minimize them, right?
Yeah.
You don't buy that 24 thinking, oh, I got next weekend covered. Bullshit. Beep, beep, beep. You're going to drink all 24 that night, right?
We're live, Greg. We're live.
You buy
I was him bleeping himself.
You got to be smart about this, right? So you buy what you think's reasonable, or you buy that 40-year and that's it. That's all you bought, right?
Hey, I would even go as far as saying, and one of the things that we do here in Father Time, and one of the reasons we're here is to share our experience so that somebody can pick up on it and hopefully learn from our mistakes or just learn in general. There was a time when I thought I couldn't have fun without alcohol.
Oh,
right?
I agree. Because that was my next point. If you can't control, if you start drinking and you don't know if you're going to drink one or you're going to drink 24, then just don't enjoy the game.
But my point being, Greg, is that I'm letting the fathers out there know you could enjoy the Super Bowl and have a great time with no alcohol. Now, that's happened to me before, and I've actually sat down at a Super Bowl party and left without having one drink and saying to myself, wow, I really had a good time just hanging out with my friends. Another thing I would do if maybe
you remember it.
Yeah, I remember it. It's a memory.
Over the next day, right?
But also another thing you could do,
because you got arrested that night for domestic violence or burning down the city, right?
Another thing you could do is
let's burn it down.
Another thing you can do is buy non-alcoholic beer.
Bingo. Perfect answer.
You can buy
even Bud has a non-alcoholic beer now.
Yes, because when I was going through my transition of drinking a lot to not drinking as much, having a non-alcoholic beer felt pretty good because I just needed something in my hand, like I had before when I was watching a game. So just having that something in my hand, and when somebody scores a touchdown, you're like, yeah, cheers, and you have something to drink, and it's non-alcoholic. So
it's a great point, right?
Yeah.
So my point is this is plan, right? Plan that day and be smart about it. So what does that mean? Well, ask your wife, ask your girlfriend, ask your mom or your aunt, your uncle, right? What do you think we should do? So, it doesn't end up being a fight, because I am tired of going to the party and then all we experience is the fight.
Yeah, definitely.
So another good thing too, guys, is this. Carefully go over your list of who to invite and not who to invite.
Oh yeah.
Usually when there's incidents, from year to year, it's usually the same people. So those are just the people you just don't want to invite, because
I love my cousin Joey, by the way.
You have every reason not to invite them, because they always get out of hand. So that's,
Well, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, with COVID, in effect and over, what we've been.
You shouldn't be having big parties anyway.
Yeah. So actually what I do is I just like you said, shout out to HEB. We go to HEB and we buy our stuff, right? And then the whole day, I have what I've called, you might have heard me say, I have football finger foods. So what I do is our dining room table is just full of food, finger foods, wings, fruit, chips, exactly. And through the whole day, we just kind of graze on it. And then the Super Bowl comes on, and that's when I'll either make burgers or dogs or whatever. And then I watch the Super Bowl, and then that's it. So it's a great time. We're wrapping this up. Any last comments, Sam and Greg, or let's go with Greg first. Any last comments, Greg?
No, I think, it's like, so we enjoy these celebrations and these moments because they're fun, right? Mm-hmm. And having a fight afterwards is not fun. Having an argument during it, it's not fun. So focus on the fun and ask yourself, is alcohol worth it? Is drugs worth it? I mean, a long time ago, I decided it's not.
Yeah, definitely.
If I'm there to watch the game, I'm there to watch the game.
Any last statements, Sam, before we go?
Well, for me, I've had too many games in the past that I don't remember because I was, probably in my
Being honest,
20s and 30s where I was. I mean, think about it, guys. I mean, my brother who passed away, we always, watched the Super Bowl together, and we always barbecued together when people were starting at 10, 12 o'clock. The game's not until 6. If you're drinking at 12 o'clock already, and the game was not until 6, imagine. I'm a 280-pound man. By the time 6 got there, 18
I'm
beers.
Passed out.
There's like 18 bottles of beer in the. I mean, they're gone, dude. So I think the one that I remember the one that everybody reminds me of the most, and I'm going to embarrass myself here, was the year that Michael Jackson was the halftime for one of the Cowboy victories against Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I was in the middle. I was at my brother-in-law's house right down the street because we were still in the same neighborhood with my sister. And when Michael Jackson came out, my brother-in-law had the house full, man, of people from his work at Kelly and stuff. And and when Michael Jackson came out, dude, I got in the middle of the whole living room, the den, and I was doing the moonwalk, and I was doing the splits, and I was doing all this stuff.
Singing, doing a little karaoke.
I was drunk, dude. So I go to the restroom. I had to go to the restroom. I remember I go to the restroom. And after all that dance, I remember the whole restroom was spinning, dude. I was just like, So as I'm coming out of the restroom, I'll never forget. I looked out the hallway, and I'm like, that's the room. That's the door that leads back into the house where everybody's at. And there's you got 3 bedrooms. Okay, I'm gonna go to that bedroom. I went in there and crashed out. My kids are waking up. Daddy, the Cowboys won. I'm like, what? Well, what do you mean the Cowboys won?
See, there it is. The trauma from the past, historical trauma. That's why you want them to win. Or you want them to go back so you can at least have that.
So my thing is this, guys. Hey,
pass out in the bed.
Be safe. Have fun. Don't get angry if your team loses. Don't get angry if you lose money because more likely if you've got.
Well, I mean, angry is okay. What we do with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to feel.
Yeah. I mean, just control yourself. Control your emotions. Control your feelings, and then just have a good time. I mean, this is the time to celebrate one of the greatest sports in American history. Matter of fact, the Super Bowl is the most watched single sporting event in the history of sports.
Yeah,
millions of people, and every single network from every single country and nation is televising this thing. That's how huge it is. So just be good. Just have a good time, and then clean up. And Monday is the next day, and here we go again. We start another new week, man. And so enjoy yourself. Yeah. Again, God bless.
What do you got, Alex?
Okay. Thank you. No, Greg, I got one more. I got one more.
One more thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just to round it off. So fathers out there, no beer. If you're going to have something.
Okay, this is the
non-alcoholic beer. And then the third choice is maybe just a 6-pack, depending, 1 or 2 years, one or two, just to enjoy yourself. But what I really, really want to send a message is that, and I'm talking about the fathers that we usually deal with at the San Antonio Fatherhood Campaign, is you deserve a life where fun happens all the time, if you know what I mean. Sometimes when things are going good, I notice a lot of the fathers that we would talk to, it almost like they felt or expected things to go bad right around the corner. And it doesn't have to be like that. It could be good all the time or most of the time, meaning you have a good Super Bowl party or a good Super Bowl time. The next day you have a good day at work, and the next day you have a good day at work. And then you have a good NBA finals, and you have a good this, and you have a good that. So just remember, you deserve that, and it could be that way. All right. So with from Father Time, peace be with you.
Bye, guys.
And go Bucks.
Go Cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah. Go.
So let's try to do it in 3 minutes. Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the
Okay.
Super Bowl Sunday, so this will be the last part of the last one.
No, we got Tuesday and Thursday of next week.
No, the Super Bowl is this Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, this Sunday. You guys suck.